Teen Super Mario has won a gigantic mansion full of ghosts, but also hidden secrets and details that'll leave you trembling with fear. Start up the poltergeist by hitting the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you don't get a good scare. Here you have 25 secrets of Luigi's Mansion. The game code revealed a 2-player co-op mode where we could complete the game alongside a second player, similar to Luigi's Mansion 3 and Luigi's Mansion 1 for Nintendo 3DS with GUIGI and Luigi. It seems that Nintendo always intended this series to be played by 2 people. Star Wars fans will catch this reference quickly. During our first encounter with King Boo, this ghost makes a reference to Jabba's dialogue in Star Wars when he refuses to hand over Han Solo trapped in a carbonite block. However, instead of Han, he refers to Mario trapped in a painting. Neville, the bookish father, is the first big ghost you capture in Luigi's Mansion, and he's holding a rather curious book. If you zoom in with a Game Boy horror, you can read its title, Mario's Story, a reference to the Japanese version of Paper Mario 64, whose title is Mario's Story. It seems the story of this game takes place inside the book within the mansion. If you talk to any Toad during the game, you can hear the familiar melody from the Nintendo 64 when Mario meets a Toad. Luigi's Mansion had a lot of animations, music, and assets among the game files that were not used in the final version. One of the most striking was this animation of Luigi choking on poison, during which Luigi loses life gradually while clutching his neck. It looks more like he's suffocating than being poisoned. It's a bit strange, but the cover of Luigi's Mansion bears some resemblance to the cover of the movie Home Alone. In both, the protagonist appears screaming, with the enemies positioned on either side. Curiously, this image reminds us of the famous painting known as The Scream by Munch. Before Luigi's Mansion was released on GameCube, Nintendo had been sharing images and videos of the game. At the Space World 2000 Video Game Expo, they showed a rather eerie trailer where Luigi appeared depressed in front of the mansion. The most curious thing is that one of the shared images showed a ghost that never appeared in the game. This was the ghost chef from the kitchen, who seems to have been discarded, although the tomato he held in his hand is still present in the game files. After finishing the game, you'll get a score based on the money you collected during your stay in the mansion. Depending on the rank you get, the house will be better or worse. Let's take a look. Rank H, your own tent in the style of Animal Crossing New Horizons. Rank G, eat, sleep, cook, and do all your business all in one place with this New York luxury apartment. Rank F, a modest house similar to the one shared by Mario and Luigi in the Paper Mario series. Rank E, your grandparents' house in the countryside. Rank D, the canonical house that Luigi finally ends up with in Luigi's Mansion 2. Rank C, the house of one of your neighbors who surely harbors a dark secret. Rank B, the peaceful version of the terrifying mansion. Rank A, Mr. Luigi's Mansion, as seen in Mario Kart DS from the Luigi's Circuit. Up to Rank S, which is exclusive to the Nintendo 3DS version and looks like a luxury resort. Nothing to envy from Peach's Castle, the place where Luigi was hidden in Super Mario 64, but that's another story. Totaka's song is hidden in this game. For those of you who don't know it, it's a strange melody that its composer, Kazumi Totaka, hides in several Nintendo games. In this case, you can find it on the How to Play screen if you wait 3 minutes and 15 seconds. An unused piano version was found among the game files. This version was supposed to be played by the mansion's pianist. During the ghost turning process, you can see a weird image of 3 ghosts playing cards. Have you ever wondered who they really are? This scene is actually not part of the game, but appeared in the presentation trailer during Space World 2000. Okay, mystery solved. This picture might also be a reference to the real artwork Dogs Playing Poker by Cassius Marcellus Coolidge from 1894.
They're dogs! And they're playing poker! Ah!
We want to introduce you to a ghost that didn't make it to the final version or for some reason wasn't finished. It's a kind of white mass with 2 tentacles that apparently was going to be an enemy or boss in Luigi's Mansion. Although among the game's files is its attack and damage animations, maybe this is not its final form, but it's quite creepy. This is one of the most brutal Nintendo creepypastas ever created. The company has never shown its characters in situations that could negatively affect children, as they are a big part of their audience. But this time, a developer of Luigi's Mansion went too far. In one of the mansion's rooms, a phone rings, and when Luigi approaches it, a lightning bolt illuminates the room, creating a disturbing shadow that simulates Luigi hanging. This terrible glitch wasn't obvious and became more popular over time. After the controversy, in the Luigi's Mansion version for Nintendo 3DS, this was fixed, creating a more realistic shading. In the conservatory, you can play the main theme of Super Mario Bros. By activating all the instruments. Moreover, Melody Pianissima will play 2 songs from the Super Mario series, the athletic theme from Super Mario Bros. 3, and also the underwater song from Super Mario Bros. Bezos are a type of enemy that originally appeared in Super Mario Bros. 2 in 1988. They are characterized by having wings, a spear in hand, and a face covered like the Shy Guys. In Luigi's Mansion, these enemies called Ghost Guys appear similarly, with a mask without eyes or mouth holes, but flying and holding a spear. These enemies might reveal the true faces of the Shy Guys, although since they are dead, they're not given much attention. In the game manual, you can find a render of Mario inside a painting, but if you look closely, you'll discover that this image is not entirely new. Its origin goes back to Mario Golf 64, a game that had already been released years before and whose previously rendered image of Mario stood out quite a bit from the rest. And there's more. An unused file of Daisy from Mario Tennis was found among the game files. Maybe this princess might have a relevant role during the story. Professor Egad's ghosts escape from his pictorial collection and are now scattered throughout the mansion. Luigi has to capture them in somewhat different battles compared to regular ghosts, and depending on how well he does, the paintings they transform into afterwards will have different colors. Therefore, each ghost has 3 versions of paintings with different appearances. In Luigi's Mansion for 3DS, there are 4 versions of the paintings, ranging from bronze to platinum. A beta version of Luigi's Mansion surfaced a few years ago, revealing significant changes compared to the original game. The Game Boy horror could show the time, ghosts could also be detected with a 360-degree sensor, something that later evolved into the boo detector Luigi receives from Professor Egad. Lastly, although in the final version the vacuum was a bottomless pit like Kirby, in this pre-release version it could clog and stop absorbing ghosts. The GameCube disc was quite special. It showed the game's artwork in green, which is quite common. However, it hid a secret. It was fluorescent and glowed in the dark, and to keep up with tradition, something similar happens with the cover of Luigi's Mansion 2 and the steelbook of Luigi's Mansion 3. Professor Egad's lab is fully designed to be played. There are 2 doors, one leading to the training room and the other to the gallery. But the weirdest thing is the staircase to the left, which can be climbed but leads nowhere. The boos Luigi captures all have quite funny names, combining the word boo with others. For example, this is Game Boo Advance. The first floor family is not complete without the 2 twins, Henry and Orville, referencing what both are doing in the room. Henry is named after Henry Ford, the car brand creator, and is playing with cars. On the other hand, Orville is named after Orville Wright, considered the first man to carry out the first manned airplane flight. The console Luigi uses during his adventure in the mansion is a Game Boy Color, but not just any Game Boy Color. It's a Japan-exclusive clear color variant that never made it to the West. A Game Boy Advance was not used because Luigi's Mansion started development long before its release, so it didn't exist yet. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door did include a Game Boy Advance and its SP version. Even stranger was the case of Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga, which originally had its own Game Boy Horror, but was eventually replaced by a Game Boy Horror SP. On the save file selection screen, a message from the ghost appears saying, "Welcome to your mansion." But if you wait a little, the message changes to, "Welcome to our mansion." It's not the only time you'll see this type of message either. If you decide to copy a save file, the ghost will encourage you to do so because, of course, the more files, the more fear. If you try to delete a file, the message will change because you can delete the file, but not the fear. Finally, when you press start in the game and choose to exit, it'll ask if you're sure of this action, but not without leaving you with one last message: you'll be back. Luigi's Mansion included a hidden version of the house unlocked after completing the game for the first time with some special features. All ghosts did double damage to poor Luigi, but luckily, the Poltergust 3000 was also more powerful. Additionally, you could get bigger rewards more easily. Interestingly, the American and European versions had some variations of this second mansion due to development times. For example, the American version was not mirrored, while the European version was. Additionally, Luigi could ride on the vacuum during the battle against Bulassis, which is not possible in the American version. And speaking of Bulassis, this great ghost from the mansion has a lot of history. The enormous boss of the Boos is capable of splitting into a bunch of ghosts and became so popular that he reappeared in Luigi's Mansion 3. Bulassis is the boss of the Scarescraper mode, although the method to defeat him is quite different. While in Luigi's Mansion 3, you had to vacuum up many Boos. In the original Luigi's Mansion, you first had to freeze them. The mansion is now spick and span, but you can still vacuum up more secrets from these other videos we leave you here. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next ones. Thanks for watching. See you next time!